Not every film ends the way it was first written. Behind every iconic final scene, there's a draft that came before. Sometimes darker, sometimes simpler, sometimes unforgettable for a very different reason. These aren't fan theories or what-ifs. They were real, filmed, scripted, or storyboarded, and changed at the last possible moment. These are the endings we almost saw, and the legacy that would have followed. These are alternate endings that would have rewritten the film's legacy. Kicking off the list at number 10, we begin with Back to the Future. The lightning strike, the DeLorean, the clock tower, one of the most iconic third acts in film history, timed down to the second. But that wasn't the original plan. In the earliest versions, Doc Brown and Marty were set to race the DeLorean across a desert testing ground toward the heart of a nuclear bomb test. The vehicle would absorb the energy from the explosion and jump through time. They even storyboarded it. But the logistics, costly. The tone, more chaotic. So the creative team pivoted. They scaled the spectacle down and the emotion up. Instead of nuclear devastation, they gave us lightning, urgency, and a small-town clock frozen in time. The rewrite didn't just save the film's budget, it made the ending timeless. Number 9 brings us a moment that nearly changed everything. Return of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker standing over his fallen father. In the ending, we know he lowers his weapon. He steps back. He refuses the darkness. And in doing so, he redeems Anakin Skywalker, restoring balance to the Force. But that wasn't always the case. One version of the script had Luke strike Vader down, take his helmet, and declare himself the new Sith Lord. It wasn't redemption, it was succession. George Lucas ultimately chose hope over tragedy. Luke's refusal to kill, his quiet act of resistance, became the moral spine of the saga. Without that change, Star Wars might have ended in shadow. Instead, it closed with light. Taking the 8th spot is a rewrite few fans ever heard about, Frozen. Elsa, the misunderstood Queen of Ice in isolation, was never supposed to be a hero. In the early drafts of Frozen, Elsa was written as the villain, feared, exiled, and dangerous. She ruled with cold power, not inner pain. The story was about stopping her, not saving her. Then came the song. Let It Go was written to define her transformation. But it did more than that. It revealed that her struggle wasn't with others, it was with herself. The moment was too powerful, too human. So the studio reimagined her. The plot was rewritten. Elsa became a symbol of fear, control, and acceptance. And instead of a villain's fall, we got a sister's rise. A single scene and a single song changed everything. At number 7, here's a decision that redefined the final act of The Lion King. We remember Simba's return, the rain falling, Scar's defeat, Pride Rock restored, but in one version, that moment never came. In an alternate ending, Simba fails, Scar wins, the kingdom stays in ruin, the hyenas rule, the circle never completes. The original pitch was bold, but deeply tragic. It removed redemption. It erased hope. Disney reversed course. The ending was rewritten to reflect courage, legacy, and healing. It's not just an ending. It's the reason The Lion King became mythic. Number 6 delivers a quiet shift with a lasting legacy, Toy Story 4. Woody has always been the loyal one, the leader, the protector. So in the early cuts of Toy Story 4, the plan was simple. Woody returns to Bonnie and stays with the group. Business as usual. But that version felt unfinished. Pixar made a bold decision. What if Woody left? What if he stopped being a toy defined by others and chose his own path? So he does. He says goodbye. He stays with Bo Peep, not to chase love, but to become more than the role he's always played. Some audiences didn't love it, but emotionally, it was the most complete ending he'd ever had. Midway through the list, number 5 gave us an ending we almost never saw. Monsters, Inc. The original ending to Monsters, Inc. was cold. The door to Boo's world is shredded. Sully walks away. She forgets him, forever. That was the plan. But test screenings made one thing clear. The audience needed closure. Not a full reunion, not a dramatic goodbye. Just, something. So they rebuilt the door. Sully walks in. He hears a single word. Kitty? That's all it took. And the audience, they smiled, they cried, they remembered. At number 4, this film nearly closed on a completely different note. Enchanted. Giselle was born for fairy tales, so it made sense, on paper, that she'd return to Andalasia. Animated, magical, perfect. But Disney decided to rewrite the ending in a very un-Disney way. They kept her in New York. No fairy tale palace. No spellbound return. Just a woman navigating a real-world life with someone she chose. It grounded the fantasy and gave it purpose. Not every ending needs a castle. Sometimes it just needs choice. Cracking the top 3, this next scene was one signature away from becoming canon. Tangled. In one draft, Rapunzel heals Flynn with her hair, saves him, and keeps her powers. It worked, but it didn't say much, so they changed it. Flynn cuts her hair himself, breaks the curse, sacrifices his life. When Rapunzel brings him back, it's not because she can, it's because she must. And in that moment, the story grows up. Love isn't a gift, it's a risk. Runner-up at number 2, this alternate ending would have rewritten the franchise. Wreck-It Ralph. Ralph's whole arc was once built around destruction. He was going to tear it all down, to protect Vanellope, no matter the cost. But that made him a villain in disguise. So the writers flipped it. Ralph still wrecks things, but now he chooses what to destroy. The old labels, the bad code, the box he's been trapped in. He doesn't become a hero because someone tells him he is. He earns it. And that changed the heart of the film. And finally, number 1, a rewrite that would have changed the legacy of Finding Nemo forever. Originally, Marlin found Nemo halfway through the movie. The second half was about escape, dodging dentists, fighting fish tanks. But it didn't land. Test audiences said it felt rushed, unfinished. So Pixar restructured the entire timeline. They delayed the reunion, let both characters grow, face danger, and change. So when they finally meet again, it isn't just a rescue. It's a reunion between two different people. Earned, emotional, silent. These weren't theories. They were scripted. Some were shot. Some were seconds away from becoming the version we remember. But one change changed everything. Sometimes the greatest scenes aren't what made it to screen. They're the ones that didn't.